Mike Muir and from Suicidal and the original bass player of the Legion Majorca. I'm sure all of you have heard of Suicidal Tendencies. I don't think I need to explain them. But what I will talk about is what an influence and what they meant to me. I got that first record when it came out. It was late '82, early '83, whenever it was. And to me, that first Suicidal record, that's the first crossover record ever made. And if you don't know what that means, it's metal and hardcore or punk combined, because the guitar playing on that record was straight up metal, lead guitar, shredding solos, all of that. I had never heard that before in my life. And it was just, that record was, I mean, it was a fucking, I was obsessed. Charlie too, we were obsessed with that album. So were like the Slayer guys, Jeff and Tom. Tom's even in the Institutionalized video. We were obsessed with it. And I said it before, there's no SOD without Suicidal, because it was that Suicidal record that made me want to make a record that sounded like that. And it wasn't going to work in the context of Anthrax, because Anthrax was always going to be like two guitars, the Iron Maiden kind of format, the Judas Priest format, two guitars, bass drums, and a singer in the vein of Bruce or Halford or Dio or so on and so on. Like Anthrax was always going to have a singer, not a shouter. But I heard Suicidal and I was like, well, there's a way to do this now too, where it could be like my guitar, but it can also be punk and hardcore. Like it doesn't have to be so metal sounding riffs. It just all started to make sense in my brain. And that was the genesis of SOD, because I started writing those songs in early '84. We were in the studio recording Spreading the Disease, and I had a lot of time on my hands because I was done recording my guitars. Joey was doing vocals, so I had all this time on my hands, and started drawing this comic book of Sergeant D, the guy on the album cover, and just these like one-sheet comic strips, and it was called Sergeant D and his Stormtroopers of Death, who were a bunch of little dude versions of him. And so one of them was like, it was like a little league game, and one of the little dudes is sliding into home, and the umpire calls him out, and Sergeant D shoots him in the head. Like that kind of shit. Like Sergeant D sitting at the table, and he's got his bowl of Cheerios, and there's no milk, so he kills his mother. Like shit like that. And I would hang them up in the studio just to make people laugh and stave off the boredom. And someone was like, you should do a comic book. I'm like, I don't know how to do a comic book, but maybe I can write songs around these stupid ideas. And then it turned into this thing, like whatever would make me laugh the hardest, I would just start going with it. And I had about 9 of the songs written, and I called Danny Wilker and I said, hey, I got this idea, like I want to do something like Suicidal Tendencies meets Discharge, meets, Iron Maiden, meets this, like, just like mash up all these ideas, and but the lyrics are really, really stupid. Like,